It's the Texas weather discussion video for Friday, the 23rd of August. I'm Donovan Neal. Our weather for the next 24 hours remains unsettled with a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms for this evening through the overnight hours. But then towards the latter half of this weekend into early parts of next week, we do warm substantially, and Monday will be back in the triple heat again. So here's the upper air map across the nation this morning. You can see we have that weakness in the ridge, of course, which is creating a possibility for lower temperatures throughout this weekend, mainly because of the short waves in the jet stream, and that'll continue through this weekend. But we do warm briefly on Monday, though. Temperatures mostly in the low to mid 80s, as you would expect for this time of the year, and of course we'll be in the mid to upper 90s once again around seasonal averages for this time of the year. Across the watch warning map, not much going on. We have a couple of flash flood watches in effect for parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and parts of Nebraska as well. Other than that, things remain pretty quiet. On the convective outlooks, we have standard slight risk of severe storms across the mid-Atlantic coast, and another risk of severe storms for parts of the Texas Panhandle all the way through parts of the western High Plains. On day 2, we have a marginal risk of severe storms for parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and some of the adjacent states up north towards the Dakotas. And on day 3, we have a risk of severe storms for that general same area. Keep note how each day we're solidly in the green, which means we'll have a risk for isolated to scattered thunder, but no organized severe weather is expected. Here's the average rainfall for the next 7 days. Most of the deep south gets the rain this for the next 7 days, and down here around half an inch to inch of rain generally in that broad zone in North Texas is expected, and that's anything that we see this weekend, and maybe parts of the latter half of next week as well. But the only part of the state where they keep getting the shorthand of the stick is West Texas. On the drought monitor, that's where the most widespread drought is in parts of the state. But Abilene has not received rain in pretty much a month now. Wow. And that's causing around like 73% of the state to be in some kind of drought conditions. So as we experience a pattern change a little bit of a pattern change next week, hopefully that'll lead to more rain chances with time. And let's go with the tropics. We have tropical depression Chantal that's still in northern Atlantic. That's expected to dissipate later today. It's expected to dissipate to a post-tropical and fully dissipate this weekend as well. And on the Bahamas, we have that wave that's been talked about for the past 2 days now. That's increased to a 60% chance of developing within the next 5 days. And of course, they'll hug the mid-Atlantic coast and then jog on to the northeast away from the U.S. If this develops. So not much threat to land here. So let's go on to the models here. This is the GFS. This is the 06Z run valid this afternoon at 4 o'clock local time. You can see we have that weakness in the ridge down here. Again, we'll mention a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms during the evening hours, mainly evening overnight. Highs mostly in the mid 90s. Let's take a look at the NAM. This is the NAM at 7 o'clock local time today. You can see we have those scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly over the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex at that time. So of course, the best chance of any one spot getting wet this evening is around the 40 to 50% bracket at this point. So if you have any outdoor activities planned, make sure to keep a close eye on the radar. Now let's take a look at Saturdays. The weekend begins. Again, throughout the day, we have that chance of isolated showers and storms. Again, highs mostly in the mid 90s. And on Sunday, we do clear out. System clears out to the east a little bit. We remain mostly dry on Sunday. Highs mostly in the upper 90s with increasing heat indices. And now here's Monday of next week. Monday, we do clear out with that upper low still pretty much on top of us. We do clear out with highs mostly returning to the 100-degree century mark briefly. By Tuesday, though, we have a surface front that comes through here, cools things down with a good chance of showers and thunderstorms for the north. Highs mostly in the mid 90s, back to seasonal averages, and then by Wednesday, we have a high. We have cool Canadian air that starts to infiltrate our area. Highs mostly in the mid 90s by that point as a result of that air. And then on Thursday, pretty much the same deal. We begin to trend even cooler and cooler with highs in the low 90s. And here's a week from today, the 30th of August on Friday. We have that trough in the Great Lakes state in Canada as well. And down here, look at that 1024-meter high over parts of Canada and parts of the Dakotas. That's very indicative of some nice cool continental air. Highs by Friday would be around 90 to 92 at that point, with lows in the low 70s, maybe even the 60s in some spots. Very big difference from this week. And let's go out 10 days. This is Monday, the 2nd of September. Actually, this is Sunday, the 1st day of September, the first day of meteorological fall. You see we have that ridge still out in the west, and down here it looks pretty dry. But you can see for the numbers for the next 15 days coming off the European ensemble pretty much reflects the same thing we're illustrating. Highs mostly highs back to the century mark on Monday, and then by after Monday, highs progressively get cooler. Highs mostly in the get cooler down into the 90s, potentially upper 80s by the first day of September, with overnight lows in the low 70s, maybe in the upper 60s in some of the cooler spots. That's it for the Texas weather discussion video for today. Our winners in the blog. My next video will be posted at around 9 a.m. Monday morning the next week. If you can, catch the local TV stations on the air this afternoon at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend and Godspeed.